Here we go. Day number 7 of Ramadan. And not much really has happened today. I, Nothing really new and different. So I decided for this video I'm gonna basically give a little bit of a comparison between Ramadan and Lent. Now, for me and how I observe Lent, I give up a lot of things. I give up secular entertainment and with the exception of like social events, alcohol and the sweets I give up during Lent, um, and yeah, I give up a lot of stuff. And for me during Lent on Holy Saturday, a little bit more than Holy Saturday, basically between the Good Friday nighttime service and the Easter Vigil, I am not allowed to eat anything. And so I do. One of the reasons that Ramadan maybe was more easy for me than for some people was because of something I would do on Holy Saturday, fast for more than 24 hours. So these are sort of these are kind of my personal Lenten practices. Um, so I think one of the reasons I was kind of disappointed that not as many Christians were observing Ramadan as there are who were observing Lent. The Muslims for Lent, like a large number. Christians for Ramadan, you can maybe count on two hands, at least of the people who were public about it. So I mean that there might be a lot more just that I don't know about. But anyway, I think typically, I mean, Lent overall now is a much easier holiday, or a much easier season. I mean, you give up one thing. One thing, it's something important to you, something personal for you, and you spend some, and that's kind of how most people see it. Then usually it's like people are told to spend more time doing both prayer and charity. With Ramadan, you give up eating food during daylight hours. That's, and also you're told to do more charity, and also there's some extra praying that's done. So a much bigger thing because just about everyone eats quite frequently during the day, unless there are definitely several people who are living in poverty who can't. But overall, Ramadan is a much more difficult fast than Lent. Although in the medieval times, Lent, from what I know, I might be mistaken, but people would basically do a similar fast to what's done during Ramadan, during Lent, except some differences. From what I know, no exceptions while traveling. Um, the Catholic Church at that time was pretty much in power. And the travelers would be missionaries trying to convert others. And so there wasn't this embracing hospitality or anything like that. No exceptions for health issues. I mean, basically, there weren't certain exceptions on fasting during Lent in the Middle Ages, so that's a big difference between Lent and Ramadan. And um, as along with giving up food during daylight hours, it would give up meat, sometimes with the exception of fish, and dairy and eggs, but that was more for farming purposes because it wasn't the season for that stuff, so they said, well, let's just give it up anyway. But overall today, Ramadan, much more difficult. During the medieval times, Ramadan might have been easier, but it was but not much, and mostly because I guess Muslims at that time and Islam at the time was maybe a more sensible religion than Christianity was back then. And I mean, I guess I'm talking more about the people and the practitioners of the religion. I'm not talking really. It makes more sense to say Christianities than Christianity, or Islams than Islam. But anyway, those are just some thoughts. Thank you for watching. Allahu Akbar.